Hello everybody, news at 10, 12th of the 12th, Christmas is on its way. It is freezing and it's been an absolute nightmare to get here today, but we are here and we're going to talk about Watergate. Real big things happening in the world. You know, people dying of all sorts, but no.
Let's talk about Watergate.
Let's talk about Watergate, or should it have been Milkgate, or what should it have been? Let us know in the comments. It is littered across the back pages. I've had a nightmare getting in here today, so I've done a bit of reading on it, but Sam knows a hell of a lot more as a Man United fan from United People's TV, so head into those back pages, Sam.
Right, so the back pages, as we can see, are all about this bust-up that happened in Old Trafford. So basically what the initial story was that Jose Mourinho was a bit angry at Man City's overzealous celebration in the away dressing room. So he went in and told them to turn the music down, which, you know, given that it was arguably a title decider in December in your rival's backyard and they won, I think they're entitled to celebrate. I would expect United to do the same. Yeah. But Mourinho was pissed off. And apparently a carton of milk, or was it water, or was it a Lucozade bottle? No one actually knows at this point.
Was it soy milk? Was it almond milk? You know, it's just blasé statement saying it's milk. What kind of milk? It's 2017.
That's the important factor here. Was it semi-skimmed? You know, if it was full fat, it might have been a little bit heavier. It would have been more dangerous,
True, right? Yeah.
But that's the issue. So apparently it happened just outside the away dressing room. A fracas kicked off when this carton of milk hit Jose Mourinho. He was steaming. Absolutely furious of what was going on.
So yeah, actually, go to the back page of the Daily Mail. This is incredible how over the top this probably was. So first of all, Jose went ballistic.
He probably did.
Define that for me. I'll look it up in a second. What is ballistic? Has he actually gone ballistic? I haven't seen Jose Mourinho go ballistic in a long time. He's a very calculated man. 2, steam was coming out of his ears. No, it wasn't.
A bit desperate Dan, that, isn't it?
This is, look, I like a bit of drama and I'm all for that. But the one thing I do like, there's a bit of nostalgia to it with Arteta like that. Yeah. It reminds me of the good old days, Beckham and Fergie.
Fabregas and pizza. So after that, it was Arsenal players who were involved in that Pizzagate were fined £275,000. And it was only on League of Their Own recently where Fabregas finally admitted, yeah, it was me.
It was him after all, yeah.
But, so Mikel Arteta apparently got a cut eyebrow from a bottle that was thrown at him as well. Lukaku's name is getting dropped as one of the perpetrators from United's side. But at this point in time, there's no cameras in that part of Old Trafford. And the hilarious thing about all of this is that Man City have signed a deal with Amazon this year to do a behind-the-scenes documentary. And they asked permission from United to bring their cameras into the tunnel to film what happened before and after. United said, no, not happening. And because of that, there's no CCTV, so it's United's word against City's. Both clubs have got until tomorrow at 6 p.m. to give their written evidence, and from that point on, something will happen from it. But who do you believe?
Michael Oliver has not put anything in. He didn't see it, apparently, which
again... Very good not seeing things, is Michael Oliver.
Again, seems a bit strange that something that big can happen, and there's no cameras, there's no phones, no one's got anything. It almost feels like it's... I'm not saying it's completely calculated, but I imagine that...
You're making it sound like an organised hooligan brawl said, we know there's no cameras here, let's go for it.
In a world where everyone's got a camera on them, in a world where you have tunnel cams at every single game, in a world where the opposition, the away team, are trying to shoot a documentary with Amazon, how is there not a camera on this? I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But, I mean, is it a big deal? I don't know. Lukaku's obviously frustrated with what's happened in the game. He's taken a lot of stick. Yeah. Let us know your thoughts on Lukaku and what's gone on there.
That's a good comment there. Retro Unlimited Cowangate.
Cowangate, nice.
I like that.
That is
nice
good.
one, nice one, Retro. But, I mean, that is the main story. It's still going to be developing over the next couple of days, so we'll bring you more information as and when. But today it is
24 hours a day.
All the back pages.
Every single back page talking about it. You can tell it's real big stuff when you go back page of the Daily Mail again and there's that stamp. There's a stamp. That proves to you this is dangerous stuff. Incredible, incredible.
What else are on the back pages then, James?
I'll tell you what, I mean, Conte is got a big game today against Huddersfield, which you probably would have thought that kind of earlier in the season, but after losing against West Ham, lose again against Huddersfield, who got a good win at the weekend against Brighton, then there's going to be a lot more pressure on Conte. Conte's blamed tiredness for the fact that they haven't been able to kind of keep that title challenge alive this season, but it's what he is saying is that in the Champions League, that's what he's trying to do, he's trying to kind of move the spotlight away from the Premier League onto the Champions League. The Champions League draw happened yesterday. You can watch our live stream. The boys were up north with esteemed company. Flav was there representing Spurs, Rory from CFC Fan TV, and of course Paul for the Redmen TV. Yeah. And the draw was quite kind to most of them, apart from Chelsea.
Well, United got Sevilla, first time we've ever played them in a European competition, I think Champions League anyway. Liverpool got Porto, and Paul said that was a team that he really, really wanted. Weirdly enough, he said he wanted to avoid Basel because Liverpool hadn't beaten them, but I'm pretty sure he'd been very happy with that. Tottenham got Juve. That's not an easy draw, but Juve are not as good as they were a couple of years ago.
I agree. I don't know, I was surprised everyone was like, well, Spurs are out. I'm not sure they are out. I mean, let us know your thoughts, but I think Spurs will make it through that one. I really do. Yeah, I do.
Do you reckon City's possibly going to get past Basel?
I think they might sneak past them.
That's going to be tough.
That could be double figures on aggregate, I reckon.
They beat us. They beat us in the group stage. City.
But yeah, he's saying that might be their way of getting silverware this year. And I wonder if it gets to about February, March, and Chelsea are safe in the top 4, but miles off the top of the league, which they are already, if he just does a bit of a Jose himself and concentrates on the Champions League. But of course, Barcelona is a nightmare tie for them.
Yeah.
What is outrageous from the world of football? One, the fact that we spent 5 minutes talking about Watergate, but two, a statue. Now, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here because this has got to stop, okay? First of all, there was the Ronaldo one. I don't know if you remember Art Attack, but he basically looked like the head from Art Attack, and it was an absolute embarrassment. I couldn't... But now, in India, Diego Maradona is in Argentina. He's doing a testimonial, a charity match with Tendulkar, I think it is. And that's great. That's fine.
That's great. I enjoy that part.
Yeah, that's fine. But to show their appreciation, they've created this statue. This statue, I can't... Adam, can we show this picture?
Yeah, 1 sec.
Okay, just getting the picture up. Diego Maradona... His body has changed a lot in time, okay? He's been big, he's been small, he's been wide, he's been thin.
He's been wide.
He's been everything, right? But this statue of Diego Maradona, it doesn't look a thing like him. Let's have a look at it quickly.
It's a strong head of hair.
Can we talk over it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this, I just like, it's a mix between Susan Boyle and Roy Hodgson, says The Independent or The Telegraph this morning. I just don't do it if you can't do it. I just can't get my head around.
The Ronaldo one was bad enough, but...
Look, I just... A mix between Susan Boyle and Roy Hodgson. The hands are ginormous.
Has he got a massive unibrow as well?
Which, I mean, Maradona's had that at different times, I guess. But I just... What do you think that looks like? Let me know in the comments. I just don't... I cannot... I'm lost for words. It's incredible.
I quite like it. Well... Maybe like's the wrong word.
Don't do a statue if you can't do it. And if you are employing someone to do it, get someone who knows what they're doing. Because that doesn't look like Diego Maradona. And that's the only thing you're going to be judged on. If it looks like the person you're making it of.
That's normally how art works.
Yeah. Right, couple of transfer stories for you. Firstly, Allardyce is apparently going to have sort of heart-to-heart talks with the entire squad at Everton as he looks to trim down the Everton squad. One story is that Chelsea could be back in for Ross Barkley in January. It's going to be funny that Everton are going to be probably the main source of conversation in January when they've spent so much money.
Yeah, but it's because Allardyce has absorbed somebody else's squad, and whenever that happens, there's always going to be a lot of changes.
True. Oliver Giroud is also a player that Sam Allardyce wants. We spoke about that last week on News at 10. Saying that Everton wanted him. They're also after Theo Walcott, I think, as well from Arsenal. But Wenger, as he always does in any press conference, The Independent is saying that Wenger has said that Giroud will not be sold in January.
He hasn't started a league game for them this season. His
equaliser, it's difficult to say that a header is world class, but that header...
It was right in between two players as
well, wasn't it? It was incredible. And there's so few players in the world of football that could score a header like that. To get the power on it was incredible in such a key moment. He's a player that is, for me, is incredibly underrated. And I think a lot of teams would be desperate to have him, and Wenger needs to find a way to try and keep him happy. The problem is you've got that front three. Arsenal fans, understandably, go mad when Ozil, Lacazette, and Sanchez, if they're all available, don't start.
Yeah.
But then, where do you fit in someone like Giroud, who does score goals time and again? He does score goals.
I think the problem for them is that they play almost a different style with and without Giroud. If it was just a straight swap in that team and you could drop them in, just like when Fergie had Sheringham, Solskjaer, Cole, and York, you could easily rotate two of them.
True.
It's hard to rotate Giroud in and not change the system a little bit.
Very true. Sticking with strikers, the Mail Online is talking about Daniel Sturridge, who's considering moves abroad as he sort of struggles to get time for Liverpool. It's such a strange career that he's had, really, because he's undoubtedly got so much ability. But again, the squad, maybe a little bit like Arsenal as well, as they look to improve, they've added better players and players that really have got to start in front of someone like Daniel Sturridge, because they probably offer a little bit more aside from scoring the goals, as dare I say it. But a couple of La Liga clubs are in for him, Real Betis and Valencia. Sturridge is good enough to get in the England squad, and if he wants to, he's going to have to move.
Valencia's doing very well at the moment, so that definitely wouldn't be a bad move for him. But it all depends on what he's, if he really truly does feel he's fit enough to chase first team football on a regular basis, he's probably going to have to do it elsewhere than Liverpool.
Well, I think the fact that Solanke played in the derby said a hell of a lot. A lot of love hearts in the comments there.
Dal Rams the Beast 45. He's having a great day. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, the fact that Solanke started ahead of him felt like quite a clear statement from Klopp there. Sturridge is not at the forefront of his mind, but he is good enough to get in the England squad, and if he wants to do that, then I think he is one that will definitely be moving, because for Liverpool, they don't need him now because they've made that move, and Solanke is playing ahead of him now. So let us know your thoughts. I'd be surprised if many Liverpool fans would want him to stay, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this season was always seen as the final opportunity for Sturridge, but they're doing so well without him that they can probably now move on from Sturridge.
Yeah.
Somebody who needs to move on is Mr. Louis van Gaal. Somehow we still talk about Manchester United, isn't he? You're loving this.
It's been brilliant.
You've been waiting for this.
I'll pop this in. We throw different links into our News at 10 group to go, what should we talk about? I saw this little beauty and I thought, yes, let's have a little chat about that. Off you go, Sam.
What's Louis been talking about? Well, this is what he's had to say about Jose Mourinho and his style of football. He said, I would rather watch City play than United. You need quality in a squad, and it's clear City have a better squad. That I won't disagree with that. I won't disagree with that. Right. If you ask me how I did at United, I will say it was my best year ever, given the circumstances I was working under. Talking about when he won the FA Cup in his last year. We played football that was quite all right, but it's not football that is appreciated in England. And yet right now, looking at United, I have to conclude Mourinho is not being criticised while it's far more boring football. Shut up, Louis, man. Shut up. Right, you got your payoff. You know, it was a fantastic FA Cup win, but his football was the worst I've seen. Moyes was bad, but Louis van Gaal sapped every ounce of enjoyment out of you watching him play. It was
good
painful.
Stuff. Brought through a lot of the young talent. He allowed Man United fans to dream again.
He brought through Paddy McNair, Tyler Blackett. He gave a lot of youth players a lot of debuts, none of which really have stuck. Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, two players who definitely have stuck. So he did some right
Lingard,
things.
did he not bring him in as well?
No, Lingard, well, he might have given him his debut, but it was just at the right point of Lingard's career. But Louis van Gaal, man, your style of football was the worst. Jose Mourinho, you scored 4 goals against 2 teams in 2 years. We've scored 4 goals, I think, against 8 teams this season.
Right.
United are playing a hell of a lot better. If you got a draw when you're Van Gaal, it's because you had 1 shot on target.
They would have had more possession against Man City on Sunday if Van Gaal was playing.
Yes, they would have. It would have been a great, a possessional victory. Right? Look, right, Louis van Gaal, you got your payoff. Enjoy your retirement. Don't start digging us out, because we will start digging you out. And it's just, there's no need for it, right?
Fair enough, Sam. I have made a mistake. I was saying that Sturridge, they picked Solanke over Sturridge. I was wrong. You've told me in the comments, and that's what they're for. Thank you very much. I apologise. He was injured. But there lies it as well. Guy can't get fit, can he, poor bloke? and that's probably why he needs to move on as well, have a new start. Is Louis van Gaal correct in what he's saying about Jose Mourinho? Let us know in the comments. That's news at 10 for another morning. We hope you've enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts on Watergate, on Everton's transfers, on Sturridge, and of course Louis van Gaal. Fantastic. Subscribe to Ball Street, hit that like button, and we'll see you tomorrow.